The old adage of eat less and move more is useless advice for a lot of people for a couple of reasons. Although it is true that you would need to either decrease caloric intake, increase energy expenditure, or ideally some combination of the two, what this advice lacks is actionable steps and just being too vague. So let's imagine for a minute that we're stuck in a traffic jam. The problem with being stuck in traffic is obviously that there are too many cars on the road. Now, if I were in the passenger seat while you were driving and told you you could get to where you want much faster if all the cars would just drive on a different street, that wouldn't be very helpful to identifying or solving the problem. What this scenario lacks is the big picture. Maybe there was a huge storm that recently ended, or an accident just happened down the road, or maybe part of the road was under construction that day. What I failed to do is tell you the reason why all of the cars are there in the first place. The point is, you have to take a look at the whole picture because there's probably other variables that need to be addressed. Maybe someone has difficulty eating whole unprocessed foods because it's not accessible since they live in a food desert. Or maybe they can't get much exercise because they work full time and have kids in after school activities 5 days a week. The reason why people have trouble with weight today is not simply calories in, calories out, and lack of exercise. What we should be asking is why can't we maintain a reasonable energy intake, and why can't we sustain some type of regular physical activity? And what is it about our daily lives that makes this so difficult? Because everyone knows you gotta eat less and burn more calories to lose weight. If it were that simple, obesity wouldn't be a problem anywhere in the world. Barriers, past experiences, motivations, predispositions, and whatever your current situation is are all things that need to be factored in. So if you've ever been told to just eat less and move more, but didn't know how exactly to implement this advice, it's not your fault. So I'd like to provide you with some actionable advice that I hope can get you going in the right direction. The first thing I'd recommend is assessing your relationship with food and exercise. Ask yourself, do I have a good relationship with food? Do I have a good relationship with exercise? Once you've answered these questions honestly, go deeper by asking yourself why 3 to 5 more times until you've gotten to the root cause of why your relationships may or may not be healthy. When you've gotten to the root cause of why eating healthier food or exercising more may be challenging, you can then make a plan to tackle that root cause with actionable steps like making healthier options more readily accessible in your vicinity, or making time within that little window you have each day to go for a walk or do a whole body single set bodyweight workout. The second piece of advice is to create self-monitoring systems. So keeping logs or a journal on how you're feeling, sleeping, managing stress, exercising, and eating can be super helpful. You can think of self-monitoring like a mirror that increases your self-awareness by giving you a more objective view of your behavior. It's also great for putting a spotlight on your successes and challenges. This will help you identify negative triggers and identify better responses to those situations. Self-monitoring is also a good form of positive reinforcement and a way to improve your self-efficacy. So if you've ever seen a completed weekly exercise log or food diary showing all the days you ate more fruits and vegetables, that success can be a real mental boost. The last piece of advice I'd like to give you is to have realistic expectations. People have a tendency to set unrealistic goals based on lack of knowledge and what they see or read online. While setting ambitious goals can feel good, if they're too ambitious, you can disappoint yourself and lose confidence if they're not met. So be patient, realistic, and try to avoid the trap of seeing rapid results in a short period of time as the only way to succeed. A solid goal for most people is to lose about 1 to 2 pounds per week, or 10% of your body weight in a span of 6 months if you're considered obese. I hope you found this advice to be a bit more helpful than simply eat less and move more.